Welcome to Black Talk Show. I have Queen Roberta and Coach Janine here with me this morning. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Coach.
Yes. Okay, Queen Roberta, tell us a little bit about yourself.
About myself.
Mm-hmm.
Where do I start? So I have a quirky personality.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I'm very direct. I strongly believe in win-win partnerships. I believe in community thriving. I'm a business owner. I'm a mom, and I'm a loyal person. You can be very direct at times. I think
that's me sometimes too, a little direct sometimes.
I like it like that, you know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So tell us about the securing your sponsorship that we had workshop coming up in October.
Yeah, so the workshop that I'm doing with Coach Janine, and I believe that you're part of it.
Yes,
Coach Janine, right?
Yeah.
The purpose of the workshop is to not only bring awareness to sponsorship, because you'll learn that in the workshop, but also to deep dive into sponsorship so that the person who attends, they are able to communicate effectively with sponsors and they know how to write a good, winning, compelling sponsorship proposal, which some people, what they do, they go to a different channel. For example, they might want to use ChatGPT, and I've tried that. I test things out to see how it works and aligns. But when I've done that, ChatGPT still has not caught up. They left out some really important information out of the sponsorship proposal so that a sponsor can make a sound decision. So the workshop dives into the understanding of sponsorship and how to write a winning sponsorship proposal.
Okay. All right. That sounds good. So Coach Janine, you have any questions for her? All right.
Yes, absolutely. Queen Roberta, for me, I definitely want to just start with what is your definition of authenticity in your field? Because definitely as a sponsorship, there's a different type, but as you really grow in this authority in your niche, what is your definition of authenticity in sponsorship?
And sponsorship is being authentic with self. I've always said this, being true to your passion, the reason you're planning the event. When it comes to approaching sponsors, do not change your identity. So think of it as this, right? Being in a relationship, trying to change yourself to fit into that relationship. And then it doesn't work. So now you're open to another relationship and you have to change yourself to fit into another relationship. But once you stay true to yourself, stay true to your mission, stay true to your passion. I'm not saying you cannot tweak it, but you stay true to that, and then you go out to search for sponsors who aligns with your objective and your value, of course. So, and of course your target audience, but I'm going into workshop mode right now. So being authentic is just being really true to yourself.
Okay.
So that you can attract the right sponsors. Sorry.
That's okay, yeah. So in today's digital age, how important online presence and social media in securing sponsorship? Does your class also, like when you work with clients around the strategy, like for leveraging effective platform, like with that?
I would say it's more than 90%. It's not 100% because we have private sponsors, right, who don't want any visibility. They will give you the money, they'll give you the resource, whatever you need, but they don't want their names to be mentioned. But we have the large, how would I say, the large groups of sponsors who do want the visibility. So when you are providing the sponsor with some type of marketing strategy, digital, whatever, that includes digital footprints, and you don't know your stuff, I would suggest then to work with someone who specializes in that area so that they can also measure the track, measure the footprints, whether they have some type of clicker at the back working, so you can provide sponsors with that information so that they know that, one, they're receiving the visibility, and so that you know that your online footprints, you know that it's actually working. And if it's not working, you might want to tweak it. So I would say it's very important, but it's also as important to work with someone who knows their stuff.
So many people have heard, I'm sure Coach Tina too have heard, they're very concerned about the financial contribution for sponsorship. I think it's a myth. Like they think that it's very, very expensive. They cannot afford to be able to seek sponsorship. How do you address that in your classes? Like when people approach you, they think that, you know, this is not something I can afford, or this is, you know, how do you address that?
So when I started with planning events and securing sponsors, I didn't have the money to really plan the event, but it costs $0 to go after sponsors. What you're spending money on is learning the process, so you don't have to spend a lot of time on trying to figure it out, or even waste your money on, you know, this website and there's things that you might not need, or you might not need so many different moving parts in the website as of now. So it doesn't cost a lot. After you learn how sponsorship works and you have your sponsorship proposal, then you just need to invest the time into contacting sponsors and submitting your sponsorship proposal. And in the workshop, I can show you how to actually save some time when contacting sponsors, because it could become very time consuming, but there is a way that you can actually save a lot of time. It does not cost a lot. It's not impossible. You will receive rejections just like anything else. Everyone's not going to like you. It's like you're not going to like every sponsor. A sponsor might approach you and you're not interested in them because you don't share the same value. So it's not costly. It's just like going to school. You invest into school and then you come out and you implement what you've learned. It costs you nothing to do that, other than, of course, having your cell phone, paying your internet bill, and, you know, it's like, but it doesn't cost.
Okay. Now, I know the value that you bring in. Coach Tina knows that, but how do you distinguish yourself, you know, as a leader in your expert, you know, as you're in your field, the industry, you know, comparing to so many that, you know, people these days, I click here, I see sponsorship, I click here. It's like, oh, wow, sometimes it could be overwhelmed, but how do you distinguish yourself and what value that do you bring, you know, for your clients?
Absolutely. I stay true to myself. That's one, because you are absolutely correct. I see, you know, people just springing up doing the sponsorship, but when you check their resume, you know, they're doing different things, but not only sponsorship. Like I've been in this industry solely for 20 years, right? For 20 plus years, actually, right? And then when I read some of their bios, it's like almost identical to mine. I'm like, no way. So I'll give you an example. A couple of years ago, I was on Facebook, and someone who, I don't remember her name, but she said she's in the sponsorship space, and that, you know, she learned, this is my story, and she said this is her story too. So I taught myself how to secure sponsors in the 90s. And she said the same thing. I taught myself how to secure sponsors, and it was just amazing, right? So the only thing we didn't have in common was the same sponsors, right? Like I have Coca-Cola, I have Rite Aid, and I have Tommy Hilfiger, and I have all these different brands, right? So they couldn't say that part, but I stay true. When you spoke about being authentic, I stay true to who I am. I cannot say that I don't know how to, you know, to make people see the truth. Like I'm here, I'm honest, I'm here really to guide you. It's, you know, it's a service I provide to help you. It costs more if you don't, you know, invest and try to help, you know, help yourself. It costs you more. So how do I stand out? It's just really being, true to myself. I don't have any gimmicks. I don't have anything like that. Maybe something I should consider, but one thing I will not change is just being true to myself and helping people who are ready to be helped with securing sponsors.
And your
Awesome.
receipts.
Yeah.
Your receipts is how you stand out.
Okay.
Thank
Yes.
you. Okay, Coach Tina, back to you.
Okay, and I know it's different type of sponsorships. You're in the event space, and there is some. What are the different types of sponsorship? Like, you do all sponsorships, or do you focus on a certain type?
So there are two kinds of sponsorship. There is the monetary sponsorship where the sponsor gives you money. And then there's the in-kind sponsorship where the sponsor gives you products or service or even a message, or they will sponsor their celebrity status so you can bring more people, it would attract more attendees to your event.
Mhm.
So for any type of event can receive sponsorship. Any type of event you can think of can be sponsored, whether it's a conference, whether it's a marathon, whether it's a any type of event, podcast, anything that my real estate course was sponsored. Anything that needs money can be sponsored. Any type of event. So Google defines an event as something of importance that takes place. So anything of importance that takes place can be considered an event. This actually the word they use was anything of importance.
Anything of importance. Okay. So like, do you have to be a nonprofit? That's like a myth. You have to be a nonprofit to get sponsorship. It can be for profit or nonprofit, right?
That's right. It is a myth. It is a myth. And unfortunately, a lot of people leave money on the table. They have a great event. They have the audience, and sponsors need them to connect with that audience. But because they think that they are not a nonprofit organization, they don't go after the sponsorship. So you can be a student, as I mentioned earlier in my case. I was, I got my real estate course sponsored by a real estate agent. So it could be an individual, it could be a nonprofit, for profit. It does not matter. What matters is that you have an event, you know the value that you're offering the sponsor, and you know how to write a good sponsorship proposal. You understand it, you understand how to communicate, things like that.
Okay, like when you teaching the class for sponsorship, do the person that coming into the class need to know what their offer is going to be for the sponsor before, or will you help them with that plan?
Most sponsorship seekers do not know the value that they have to offer. And that actually deter them from going after the sponsorship. That's another reason, because they don't understand. They say, oh, my event is too small, or it's too this, or it's too that. No, you have a perfect event. So within the workshop, I cannot work through with everyone individually to find the value. So we would do like this blanket thing of how to find the value, but I would need to deep dive to learn about their event to pull out the value, because each event is different. One person might be able to offer a digital footprint to the sponsor. Another person might be able to offer a different demographic to sponsor. Another person might be able to take that sponsor international from national, or from international to connect them locally with a local demographic. I don't know. Each event is different. So from the workshop, if they would like to then go into a consulting session, then you can do so. Yeah.
Okay. So what is some myths that you would like to debunk?
Oh my gosh, the first one is, it drives me nutty, that sponsorship is the same as donation. That is the hugest, to me, myth, right? It's not the same. You don't need to be a nonprofit or 501c3 or any other type of nonprofit. It's not true. The second is that sponsorship is advertisement. It's not true. As I mentioned earlier, there are something that's called private sponsors. So they are not looking for any type of advertisement. And then the third thing I'm going to say is it's an investment. We can use the term loosely, but it's not an investment actually using that word is what got me kicked out of the office when I first started to look for money for my events, right? So investment is asking a company for money, and then you are going to take that money, flip it, and then give it back to them as an investor. That's
Yeah.
not true. You are giving them back value, but you're not saying, here is your money back. You are
Yeah.
giving them value in different ways.
Okay, that's wonderful. So, Coach Janine, do you have anything that you'd like to ask her?
Absolutely. There's any pre-work that you would like people to get ready for the class so they can come up, really come ready to work with you? Do you have any checklist or anything that you usually require for your student to come in, before they come to the workshop that you do?
I don't require anything. What would be helpful if they want to, get ahead, and they can be in the classroom and then just ask questions because they already know certain things, is to get my ebook, right? The ebook, How to Secure Sponsors Successfully, inexpensive. You get it, it downloads. So this way, when you come into the classroom, you're like, oh, okay, I know these are myths to get rid of, so I'm not going to bring this up in a workshop. Okay, I know this is the information to include into my sponsorship proposal, but I'm not sure how to do it from my point. Now you can ask, the questions, because you are advanced, and we have more time to kind of deep dive individually if you already know the fundamentals. But just
Yeah.
show up with your pen and paper or whatever you use to write.
Yeah. And have questions already ready. If you get the ebook, you already have those questions.
Pretty much. Yep. Pretty much. You
Hi.
deep dive, right? You deep dive. Some of the questions will be answered, I'm sure, the basic ones, but sometimes, you still you don't understand something, or you just need to go deeper into what your event, specifically what your event is about, and then you can get more without even having a full consultant session. You have it right there in the workshop and say something.
Yeah. Okay. So you have any final words, Coach Janine? Then I'll give it to
Absolutely.
Roberta.
I want people to really sign up. I don't want them to wait at the last minute to be able to sign up for October the 15th. So please sign up, hurry up. If you lost the link, please ask Coach Tina or myself, or even Queen Roberta, so we can be able to guide you, so you can be able to sign up and be ready for the class for your business in 2024 or 2023 too. We still have time.
Okay. That reminds me, that's another question I should ask. Is it a certain time that you should be seeking sponsorship? This is the perfect time right now, right?
Right. So it changes, and especially if it's a bigger budget, you want to start now for 2024 and beyond, right? You want to give yourself, for big budgets, 6 months to a year, even longer, because the sponsor needs to know you. You have to sometimes, again, when you contact a sponsor that might be out of the office, people change seats. So you want to give yourself enough time to go through the process. Now, if it's a smaller budget or maybe in-kind sponsorship, then 3 months is not bad, right? 2 months is not bad. Some people, believe it or not, was able to secure a sponsor, is able to secure a sponsor in a day. And I'm trying to remember, I think I'm the person who did that, because I know the person, right? So again, knowing my value, what I'm offering the sponsor, what they want, knowing things like that, and then offering it to them and they're saying yes. So it's not too late. One thing I would say is that people hear different types of things. And I love what you said, Coach Tina, is that, yes, I do have the receipts to prove it. And people have, you still, I have videos, I have endorsements, so it's just not fly by night. This is for people who really want to learn how to secure sponsors. I'm really here to teach them. I'm glad that I met Coach Janine, because she's passionate about helping her communities thrive, people who are looking for money. So she would not put her reputation on the line, and I don't think we will either, Coach. Tina. So it's really for people who, I'm ready to work with people who are ready to, get things started. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to working with them. So
Okay.
I'm not trying to convince them, but I'm just trying to say, if you are skeptical, like you don't need to be when it comes to, coming to my workshop, because I'm here to teach you so that you can go out and get the sponsors. You don't have to be nervous about it. Once you understand how it works, you feel like, oh, okay, I got it. I got my value. So I'm helping these sponsors, and I show you how to present that to the sponsors to show them that you're helping them, and it's a win-win situation. So hope to see you in the workshop.
Yes, yes. I'm looking forward to it too, because I remember I had an event last year that I was gonna do, and somebody sent me a template for a sponsorship. And I'm thinking, this is confusing to me, just the template, and how I don't know what to even put in here to offer them. So I mean, coming to a class like yours to actually show us how to do it and actually be able to understand what to do is always a positive. And for all the receipts she have and experience she has, I encourage each and every one of you to sign up for this class on October 15th, so you won't run into the problems that I have ran into, and I'm sure many others. You'll actually learn how to do it and learn how to do it properly. Remember to sign up October 15th. You can contact any one of us, and we will send you the link. And don't wait to the last minute. Do it today. And I thank each one of you ladies for coming on and sharing this time with us. This was a great conversation, and I'm sure that they have learned some things as well. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you, Coach Tina. And anybody who will be watching this as a replay, you have any question, please ask Coach Tina. She can be able to be in contact with Queen Roberta and myself, and we're waiting for you for October the 15th.
Yeah.
Thank you, ladies. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Look forward to seeing you there.
Okay.